Discovery had a part stake in GCN, and at that particular time, I was primarily doing GCN, like 4 days a week GCN as an employee, as a PAYE employee, but I was still allowed to do freelance stuff around it, primarily around racing. So commentating for Eurosport was something that ran parallel, and basically, and I worked for RCS as well. Giro organises World Feed, and I really liked that. And unfortunately, the proposal was, Matt, we just want you to do YouTube stuff or stick with GCN, which I understood. I don't want you to do commentary. And at that point in my life, so what was I then? Sort of 46, and I thought I want to be able to do other things because it's worked fine for the last 5 or 6 years. So it was a kind of take it or leave it. You can either stay with GCN, which is fine, or you can go and do your other stuff. And ultimately, I'd had 5 brilliant years for which I've got no regrets at all. And I didn't want to leave the commentating side of it. So I went off and ended up doing what I'm doing now. The Sigma thing wasn't even a thing then. It was more, I'd had a relationship with Sigma for a long time. The owner was a good friend of mine, best man at my wedding, mine and Holly's wedding. And I managed their UCI team as well for 10 or 11, 12 years after I'd been a pro at the top level. So the rest of the stuff the commentary just got bigger. And then there was more on-site presence at the Tour de France and stuff like that. So we did the reporting stuff, and then esports stuff for Zwift came online, and then the Sigma stuff. And then bits and bobs for other brands as well as my profile got bigger. So that was it. It was basically YouTube and nothing else. And I wanted to continue to be diverse, basically. So it was just what I wanted to do on a personal, professional level. That meant I said, okay, I'm going to go.
Doing lots of things and doing them well, as you are doing now, is something which I think people relate to a lot because people have lots of different interests. Are you very conscious to diversify your passions so you're not just Matt Stevens, the cycling guy?
I think as you grow, you change, don't you? You become interested in different things, and so the interest that I have now, I've always been interested in films and music. My wife is massive into music and films like me. I've got movie posters everywhere in this office, and that's been one of the that's been a part of who I am since I was a kid. But lockdown, and I would imagine on your podcast, people always in contemporary podcasts talk about lockdown and how it's affected them, either positively or negatively. Well, that was a difficult time for everybody. For me and my wife, we had a lot of time to spend with each other, and we had a house that didn't have a lot on the walls, and I thought I wouldn't mind getting a painting up, and that led me to seriously as simply as go and look up paintings on the internet. If you just put in paintings, it's like there's quite a lot, and then it's like, oh yeah, of course there is because of art. It's honestly as simple as that, and then that led me into buy a couple of prints and stuff, and then I thought this is really, really interesting in it. Since then, I've just been into learning about the history of art, making friends with several artists, and starting to collect, visit museums. So my passion outside of cycling now is something very different to cycling, but they coexist really well, because I think for me to be good at talking about primarily bike racing and people around cycling, which I really love, I actually need a bit of an escape as well. And escape sounds like, oh my God, I've got to escape. It's more like I just need to do something else. So when you come into the house, you won't see a lot of things to do with cycling. They're all kind of low in the mix, unless you go into the garage or one particular spare room. Then you'll see some stuff, but otherwise there's no reference to cycling at all, because I'm every day I'm living it and I'm away. So when I come home, it's a very different world, and that's not something I've done on purpose. It's just something that I just feel, me and my wife feel. I don't think Holly particularly, because I'm away so much. the house is full of like jerseys and trophies and stuff like that. Not that I won many trophies. I'm not, not a lot of trophies. But so yeah, the other stuff enables me to really give everything that I've got to cycling. So I can, when I go down to London, I'm always popping into museums or galleries and stuff and just learning. And it really, it's quite massively fulfilling and rewarding. The art, the sort of the world, not so much the art world in terms of dealerships and stuff. It's more just the joy you can get from looking at a painting and learning about what led to that painting being made.